What's up, you awesome geeks? I'm Brian, this is the Smuggler's Room, and this week we are going to introduce a massive, totally immersive, and hopefully jaw-dropping diorama display case project that combines the Star Wars universe in miniature form, and we call it the Pit. I mean, after all, what does a man in his mid to late 40s do with an entire toy collection? He does something ridiculous and builds a world to display them. Let's get one thing clear out of the gate. This isn't going to be one of those massive shelving units. It's not an IKEA display case with row upon row of action figures standing at attention side by side. There's nothing at all wrong with that. It's just not what I'm after with this. As a matter of fact, there's only been one other person I've seen do something similar to this, and that's the mad genius from Empire Toy Works. If you've never seen this man's creations before, you're in for a treat. What started out as a playset build for his kids eventually turned into a full-blown business making playsets for others. But it's his wild world building that truly inspires me. He calls this galactic outpost Rotgut Station. I don't think there could be a better name for it. I followed his work since his first post on the build many years ago, and each and every time I was drawn to the storytelling he's been able to do. I also love the toy modifications he does to help tell the stories, which are chock full of humor. I'm going to leave a link to his Instagram account below, which you need to follow if you're not already. Now, obviously, we're not going to be following or copying exactly what Empire Toy Works did, but I found his world building, his humor, and his take on toys to be exactly the kind of idea I was after. All that said, we need to solve the static shelf idea. We need to find a way to make this display case match the aesthetics of the room build. I think the solution to our problem are cargo crates. Every ship has a cargo hold, and most ships carry cargo crates. So what if we could disguise a display cabinet to look like cargo crates? Let me show you. This is a model of a display case, and yes, it looks like simple set of shelves, but when I turn this on, they become a pile of crates. Anyone coming into the room will see crates stacked haphazardly in the corner, to which we'll have other details around the area to further sell the illusion. However, once the viewer steps up to the crates, they'll be able to see through these various openings into the miniature world inside. So not only will the exterior of the display case be designed with great detail, but a look inside will also reveal a massive world. Of course, the openings will be covered with either glass or plexiglass, something like that, to keep not only hands and fingers out, but also free of dust, because it would be a nightmare to dust inside there. But you can see with this sort of design that we can disguise, make it part of the room build, one-to-one scale, and still achieve what it is we're after for the display. Carissa and I spent a bit of time last week officially launching the project. We were able to get some of the material cut out, and we even started creating a master plan of the world we want to build. A master plan involves developing a framework for the entire structure. It also defines details and gives us a roadmap we can work from. I will say the most enjoyable part of this thus far is working together. We're sketching out plans, laying out environments, and developing a story around a couple of characters you might even recognize. This is going to be more than a display case for toys. We want this to be a point of entertainment, and hopefully throughout this project we can draw you into the story that we're developing around it. This past weekend we even spent time mocking up structures at a foam core to help us get an idea of size and scale. This quick work already helps us solve special problems, as well as influencing our ideas on how we can build this world. I do want to take one moment and explain our concept behind the pit. I want you to imagine, if you can, that we're giving you a glimpse into an environment, a snapshot of this world, a small look at a most densely populated city. Picture, if you will, this level of the display case as the surface of this world. This is everything happening above ground. In these conceptual images you're seeing, it should help you get a bit of an idea of what we're going for here. We want the environment and the buildings to not only have a Star Wars influence, but also other bits of 80s sci-fi nostalgia. You may also see a lot of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge influence in these structures. We took influence from Galaxy's Edge because we love the look of that environment so much. Having said that, the artwork does give us some fresh looks, different structure styles, and have fueled our creativity in a huge way. We want to create a very dense population of things, unique buildings, lots of vendors, landing pads, and so many other scaled details. When you step up to the pit, we want to create the feeling you could stand there for hours, discovering one element after another. What gives the pit its name is the large hole in the surface. Imagine a massive cavern opening that was then shored up later and enhanced by technology. You see, years ago, there was a video game from LucasArts in development called 1313. And in the concept art that survived that long-lost game were these various shots of a massive opening. Presumably, this was a landing opening for ships to pass through different various levels of the Coruscant planet. But I was stuck by the visual of that opening. And that's essentially what kicked off the idea of the pit. So the large space below the pit opening is essentially a cavern that's been populated and inhabited. They've taken their technology and created a city in and amongst the rock. Again, we'll build all of these structures, the rock, the water effects, lighting, and other electronics, and so on. We will completely build out this world in as much detail as we possibly can. All the while taking toys that I've had since childhood and completely and totally modifying them to fit within this universe. Now, I've used a mad amount of Midjourney AI to create the concept art for this project. And it's not lost on me how much controversy is around AI as it pertains to replacing artists or other jobs. But for me specifically, I'm not selling any of this artwork. I'm not trying to replace that. I am simply using it as a tool. I'm not a good enough artist to conceptually draw all the various things that are in my head, nor do I have the money to be able to pay an artist to draw the amount of artwork I would want. So I'm just using it as a tool to help get me to the final destination. And then we'll build those things from scratch. We'll model those pieces we come up with from inspiration. But I wanted to point that out because I know it's a touchy subject. So what does all of this mean for the channel? What does all of this mean for you? Does it mean we're going to stop room building and completely switch gears? Not at all. This is just another element of creativity that we want to introduce into the flow of content. We still have layers upon layers of work to do in the room build. There are cosplay ideas we've been talking about and numerous props that we want to work on. This pit project will simply become part of the content you see from the Smuggler's Room. Smuggler's Room 2024 is going to be a huge mix of projects. We're going to have a lot of room building, a lot of prop making, and now, of course, a lot of the pit. I've wanted to start this project for a really long time, and now seems like the perfect time to do so. So we hope you've subscribed, you've hit that notification bell, and you're ready for 2024, because we're going to be building a whole lot of something out of nothing.